Welcome to episode 4 of the Wine Marketing Show. And today I have a wonderful guest here with me. His name is Dave Shafi, and he's a part of a startup in Australia, right?
Yes.
That focus on augmented reality. And one of their projects is in the wine industry. So, Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the company, Third Aurora?
Well, look, I've been in all sorts of things over the years, but most recently in the last 10 years, I've been in this digital web space and looking at how people can market and all those bits and pieces. And there's 3 of us here, and we're very good at code and the likes here. And we decided at the start of the year that there was an opportunity in augmented reality and how consumers were interacting with brands, and we sort of saw the opportunity. We actually saw it in wine as the first opportunity, and we sort of jumped at the idea. And Third Aurora is a startup which is taking this whole concept that we've developed to the wine industry worldwide.
Sounds good. Very good. I've seen some of your demos and they look great. So why don't you help our audience picture, why wine? What's the use case in wine with augmented reality?
Yeah, well, a really great question, because augmented reality is one of those. Best way to describe augmented reality is from a phone. You take your phone and you look at something, and it's sort of overlaying content on top of real life images. And so the obvious one with wine is that it looks at a label and overlays information or videos or animation or anything over the label. So when you look through your phone, it looks as though the label's coming to life. And we saw that for the first time last year. We were a bit ignorant of that sort of stuff. And there's a famous brand out there called 19 Crimes, which is done by one of the big companies out there. And they put it out, and they got something like 2 million views on shares on social media and 10 million views on YouTube. And they reported that their wine sales had gone like through the roof. And in fact, the numbers were astounding. They were saying things like 21 times category growth because of this, and it had really connected with millennials.
Wow.
And we looked at that and we thought, wow, that's, they're amazing statistics, and they're publicly available statistics. You can look them up. And we thought, that's fantastic. And imagine if every winery had this or had some ability to do this. And we sort of looked at the situation and realized that it's a brilliant technology and it's great to connect with people, but it's out of reach of just about every winery out there, because the cost and the risk and the expertise required, where do you start with this sort of stuff? And we thought, what if we could build a platform? What if we could build a platform where just the everyman could just log in like they do Facebook, and they could add their content. And at the other end of things, we've got their label in a database somewhere, they have to give it to us and likes it. And then when someone looks at their label with the phone, up pops their information, the story of their winery, how they go about making the wine, telling their story. And that's, and then we thought, this is a huge opportunity for us and for the wine industry. And if we can do it so that it doesn't need any specially printed labels, it uses the existing labels on the bottles that you have, and it recognizes them, and then it presents this great story in many forms, well, then this could be terrific. And that's exactly what we've brought to market, a version exactly as I describe it there, so that that when you're at the next dinner party, you pull out that bottle of wine that works, and you pull your phone up and show everyone, and everyone's going to be saying, wow, this is just quite incredible. I want to have a go at this and see what it's like. So we went down that pathway. And we realised very quickly that millennials, this was absolutely geared for it. It looks as though the wine industry sort of hasn't really cracked into the millennial market as well as it could. There just seems to be this gap here, and this seemed to be a perfect solution, that if you can bring your bottle so that every millennial and every person out there knows that it displays this fantastic content when I get my phone out, well, that message is going to spread. So we built the concept out so that a winery can add content into different sort of scenes, I suppose you'd call it. The scene can be just as simple as a video walking them through your winery. And we built it out so that there's lightweight information. It's not too heavy. It's aimed at a millennial to basically say, well, food pairings, this might go with chicken or this or that, but it doesn't go into great detail. It just gives the sort of level of information they want. And then we built in a social media function as well, which is really cool. And it requires millennials to sort of share your winery. And if they do that on social media, then they could be sort of the face of your wine. It's hard to explain, but it was a brilliant way to get spread. And that's sort of the key here. We can see mum and dad wineries getting into this. giving it a go, putting it on there, and all of a sudden getting all this traction on social media, which is your marketing, going bananas. So we can really see this coming together, and we're just at the launch stage right now.
That's great. And I like the fact that you compare it with using Facebook. So that means it's going to be very easy for them to use, right? What do you think is the learning curve for a winery that they want to use it? They don't have big resources. Do you think it's going to take a lot of time, investment, effort into learning how to use the platform once it's ready?
No, it'll take no investment and virtually no time, and we've built it that way on purpose. The model that we're taking to market is a freemium model, which means that for a winery, they can put this on their wine bottle for no cost whatsoever. And if they like it and they get the value, well, then they can go to a paid version. And that's a fantastic opportunity, I think, there. In terms of the learning curve, that also is virtually none. To get involved, we have to get the label. We have to get an image of the label so we can put it in there to match against. And artificial intelligence is doing the matching. But then it is a back end of a website where you have an account and you literally just put in the YouTube video that you want to show when you're walking through the winery section, and it plays. And then you go to the section on winemaker notes, and you put the YouTube video you want. That means you've uploaded something to video. Or if you just want to put an image and some notes, you upload an image and put some notes in. We can upload a video directly. Just very, very simple. It had to be made for the everyman. It had to be made so that I could sit there overnight and go, look, I've just done something great in the winery, or I've had a great event and I captured something on my phone. I'm literally just going to put it on there right now. As simple as that. And that was absolutely critical to this. So mums and dads have to be the ones who can just use it without ever thinking twice.
That's phenomenal. I really like that. If a winery is interested in signing up for this platform and use it, how do they do it?
Yep.
Where do they go?
Yep. Well, the first port of call is going to our website, which is winerytale.com. It's winerytale, TALE.com. That's all one word. And on there, there's sort of directions. Now, we haven't taken this to market fully. We're about to launch a global trial, or what we're calling the global trial. We ran a trial with 88 wineries in July, went well. Then we built out the full version of all the scenes, which look amazing. And we're running that trial with about a little over 500 wineries starting November 7. And then we'll be taking the next batch of wineries, and that will probably be very early in the new year. We hopefully we'll have a line of people wanting to get on board, so get on early, but we'll be pushing this through very quickly so that we can get as many people on as possible, because one of the other values of this is every other winery that's out there doing this with augmented reality, and there's a lot of the big players doing it now. There's one app for every winery. So if you're interested in doing this, every winery has an app. There's already 20 out there. Well, this is one app for every winery. So you know that when you're on it, someone's probably already got the app on their phone because they looked at that one and that one and that one and that one and that one. And that's powerful as well. That just gives instant visibility in the marketplace.
Yeah, that sounds great. Can you give us a little sneak peek into the future of Winerytale? Where is it heading?
Yeah, there's two really substantial features and one important point to make here. The first one is the important point to make before I go into the features is we see this as sort of the link for direct-to-consumer purchasing. We think that within a year or two, when traction is there and there's the app and there's lots of wineries on it, someone loves your wine, they know instinctively if they can just point it at your label, they can go and click a button and buy it there. And we haven't got that set up. We don't even know how that's going to eventuate, but it's a natural sort of progression here. And that can be a great opportunity for the little wineries to actually sell directly themselves or sell through a third party that will connect up. That's an important one. The features which are going to be just tremendous here. The first one is location awareness. So because a person is scanning from their phone and the phone has a location, it actually, you know, the location of which it's scanned. And we've built it so that the content can be different if a person is at the winery versus if they're not at the winery. So anywhere around the world, a person gets the same message, but if they're standing at your winery, if they're literally on your ground or within 200 metres of your address, they're getting a different content from you. And that could be you just standing there in your pajamas, pointing out all the spots around the place if you want it to be. But it's a fantastic opportunity then to open up the sort of the winery experience. And we think we can develop that much, much further, but that will be in the release on the 7th of November. which is exciting. The real power, though, is we've built in translation services too. So we built that in as a prototype, but that's coming later on in 2020, that if a person's phone is set as their native language is French, well, then that content will present in French. Or if it's Venezuelan a language? I don't know.
Spanish in Venezuela.
Yeah,
Spanish.
I'm sure you get the point. But that's a tremendous opportunity then when it comes to, export markets in any level, and when that's there. So we've built the prototype of the language one, but that will roll out next year. The location version is in the current version right now and is really exciting. It's getting a lot of the wineries very excited about that prospect.
Wow, that sounds like amazing features. And I'm a marketer. I like to do strategies and try new things, and I can only begin to imagine the amount of things you can do, different things. Location-based coupons depending on where you are.
Absolutely,
it's endless, the possibilities that I
we
see
think
here.
so too. We have, just to tell you some of the fun stuff we did. We built a couple of prototypes. In fact, we built a lot of prototypes with a lot of different things just to just prove a concept. And one of them was having a bottle on it, and because we knew the location and we can go and get the local weather. If the weather was blowing 40 knots in a northwesterly direction, a flag on the bottle started to wave, rapidly at northwest or whatever the direction was. And when you start doing things like that, they're little kooky things, and sure, they're a bit gimmicky, but gee, they were fun. And and you think of all the other bits and pieces. We have, I shouldn't say have, these are all being built, but they're sitting over here in the wings. Another one where you could literally find the nearest bottle shop or the nearest liquor store that had the alcohol. This wasn't so much for the wine version, but it had the alcohol, and a little sort of ferry popped up, and you could follow the ferry to the bottle shop. The only problem with that, though, was you were holding your phone, looking up at a ferry, and we were worried that someone would get hit by a car or something like that. So that's been pulled, but you can see the sort of the fun and bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's almost like a video game type of thing you can do. We all crazy with Pokemon Go a couple of years ago, and it's returning back. There's just a level of knowledge out there.
It's using the same technology, yeah. And look, one of the questions I get is, how will people know that my brand's on the app? So that's a really important question. And in the early days, it was, all right, well, we're going to have to put labels on bottles or do something like that, which sort of defeated the purpose. And one of the amazing things, which will be released shortly on November 7th, which is probably most of the viewers are watching this after that date, I imagine. You'll be able to experience it, is going to the app. There's a thing called the brand sphere, and when you pick up your phone and look, there's all the brands just floating around you in space, and you can literally see all the brands that are on the app there. So it's actually a really cool feature. You feel like you're in a bubble, but you can see all of the brands that are on there, and then you can, of course, you can go and buy one of them, or you don't even need to buy it. You can just walk into the liquor store and try it.
Wow, that's amazing. I definitely, if wineries, the wine industry has the fame or the reputation of being behind times, and especially not connecting with millennials. And I say that any wine brand, small or big, that wants to close that gap, especially with your freemium type of business, they should do it. They should try it. There's nothing to lose. I think it's totally on the contrary. You have a lot to win if you jump on this type of technology right away and be one of the pioneers, in the industry. Doing this.
I think so too. Look, we hope so anyway. And we're trying to reward people who do come on early too. When we're rolling out features, we're rolling them out to the people who are in this early phase here, because there's, even though it is very simple and there's not a whole lot to lose, it still takes that effort to go and find out and get in there and give it a go. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
We're trying to get people's bums off seats to pick up their phone or type that email or whatever they have to do to get on board. Then we make it happen from there.
No problem. You can count on me. I'll try to advocate for you guys, because this is part of my purpose in the wine industry, is to help wineries connect, especially with millennials. And I see this as I'm a millennial, and I'm loving what I see right now. I can't wait to have it in my hands, and try it with different wine brands. So definitely, I would love to have you back here, Dave, a couple of months down the road. To talk
absolutely.
A bit more, see the results of the global trial, and talk a little bit more. So
Absolutely.
thank
That's
you.
fantastic.
Really appreciate your time today, Dave. I want to take my hats off to you and the team, and I wish you guys the best of the success in the world. And may you guys continue to, innovate in the way you're doing. It's really amazing.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye. Have a great day.
See ya.